Hello. Welcome back to me. It's Yvonne here from Women's Fitness Adventures. I hope that you are well and happy on Monday, I think it's the 3rd of October. Let me just get settled here. It's been a while since I've been here, a good couple of weeks, but I did try and beam in live from this gorgeous little town of Pienza where I was in Florence a couple of weeks ago. So if you happen to tune in live, I think it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, which worked out to be the same time that we normally do a Monday Night Live. So you may realize also that we are an hour earlier tonight, depending where you live, with daylight saving and it being a public holiday where I am. I thought we would do it at 5 o'clock, and that means 6 o'clock somewhere else on the east coast of Australia and different time zones across Australia and the world. So if you are watching live, please let me know if you're watching live. All I can see is, as I say every week, those little eyeballs. I don't know who you are, and I would love to get to know you a little bit more. And if you are one of our members, please just say hello. And hi, Brod from Tassie. Thank you, first off the mark. So welcome back to me. Welcome back to you for Monday Night Live. I have lots of things to talk about. Do you like my top? It's this new thing I bought in, where was I? In Elba Island, the home of where Napoleon self-exiled himself. And let me tell you, one of the things that I really, really enjoyed about both the Iceland trip this year and the Tuscany adventure, or getting back to Italy, was over the past 2 years with the pandemic, I've engrossed myself in all these period and historical shows on the streaming services, and it was really great to walk in history, to walk in the steps and have I wasn't a history student at school or at university, and to have this appreciation and newfound understanding of the great history of the world. It was just fascinating. So let me check who's here. Hi, Brodwin. Hi, Teresa. I haven't met you yet. Lovely. Hi, Kim at the Gap. Hello, Pamela from Tassie. We've got lots of Tassies here. Alison from Melbourne, Meg from Melbourne, Francis from Brisbane, Mandy from South Australia, Kayleen from Brisbane. Love, thank you, Meg. From Brisbane, Belinda from Tarragindi, and hi, Janine as well. So before I hijacked myself, this is my new little thing. If I stand up, it's like a poncho that I purchased in a store, and all the colours. Let me assure you, and for some of you who in the Super Stylers with my friend, colleague, and member Fiona, who runs Style Liberation and the Style Clinic, the colours for winter coming into Australia, the European colours, are beautiful, bold block colours, no patterns and stuff like that. So it's going to be very exciting times for our winter when we eventually get to it. I know we're just going into summer. So lovely to see everyone here, and thank you so much for identifying yourself and shouting out. So hi, Simone from the sunny coast, and hi, Alvina from the Gold Coast as well. So a couple of things I want to cover off, because it does seem like it's been a while since I've been here. So just some highlights of Italy I want to share of our Tuscan adventure. Also, just some things I've been working on around values, and just some observations and things that I've seen over the past couple of weeks. Just a hark back to this time last year, because there's some observations around that as well. And just what's coming up. We've got some great stuff coming up, and I do look forward to connecting with our Victorian members or anyone from Victoria on the weekend, this weekend coming. It's a public holiday here, so I've really lost track of what day and time it is. Hi, Jill. Looking forward to hearing about Italy. Yes, I'm looking forward to sharing it too. And just like we did with Iceland, we will be having a slide night about our trekking in Tuscany fitness adventure, because there's lots I can say, but hearing it from some of our members who went or participated on the adventure will just give you much more depth and a different perspective to what I can do. But let me share what I think of our Tuscany adventure and of Italy. And one of the great things, and I noticed this with Iceland as well, is that when we have the opportunity to travel, and that could be, a little way from home, or it could be, the other side of the world, is that we step out of the bubble that we live in, and we step out of that noise and the media and the conversations that we hear all the time. And that stepping out beyond our little circle is growth. It's growth in not only our thoughts and our conversations, but growth in how we perceive things and how we respond to things and how we act around different things that we do and don't have control of. And I know in the news that it has been and continues to be, if we choose to listen to it, a whole lot of doom and gloom sometimes. But let me assure you, there is a big wide world out there. There are people who are moving and grooving and, stepping out and stepping up and doing all sorts of things. And to hear the language, to hear the, that richness of another language, when you're in Dubai airport, you hear every language you can think of. And, to see in this, I'm about to get the full sun in my face here. Let me just shut the door. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back. There you go. I was only gone for a moment, not weeks that time. To hear the richness in the language, but also see different bookstores and the titles and the genres and things, to taste different foods, to smell different sounds. It really just breaks us out of that little bubble that we can get framed in, of thinking that is the depth of our world. So it's really exciting to do that. And you can do that. As I said, you don't have to travel to the other side of the world. You just need to, it's a matter of just finding something that's outside our bubble. So that was the first thing, sitting next to different people on the plane as well. But what I loved about Italy, I had forgotten, it had been 26 years since I'd last been in Rome and Florence. And because the last Italy trips we flew into Milan, and the Cinque Terre trip flies into Milan, history doesn't change. History's still there. It's still as big and as beautiful. And there are lots of crowds. But I really missed the Tuscan sun. I really missed the Italians. And it was so good to be back. And the food is beautiful. But there's two things that really stood out for me in Italy. One is how proud the Italians are. They're proud of their shop fronts. They're proud of where they come from. You would always find a shopkeeper sweeping out the front or cleaning the windows or tidying up, and how there was no real expectation if you went into a store that you would spend something. They were just very pleased to have you in the store, which opposed to, some of the stores that I might step into back home, there doesn't seem to be, I guess it's that ownership, that ownership that they have. It's like, I'm really proud to work here. I'm really proud to show you what goods and services I have in my store, and I'm cleaning it. I'm, just proud. And I think we do tend to dish out on Australia a fair little bit as well. And then the other thing that I loved, which I'm not very good at, is stopping for lunch. And it caught us up a few times because they literally stopped for the entire afternoon, which was when we were ready to do some shopping. Our hiking had finished. And, even if there were pre-made focaccias there and we were ready to go in like 20 minutes, it didn't matter. It was, yep, you can have that focaccia. Now go sit down. Don't wait at the bar for it to be grilled or warmed or toasted. Go sit down. And then it would take another 40 minutes for it to come out. So it was the slow lunch, and that forced stopping, that stopping to appreciate time, to appreciate giving yourself some space from the working morning. I'm not sure I'd go back to work in the afternoon, but it's a lifestyle thing. And that appreciation of good food is something that I love about Italy, and something we can all learn. And I know since I've been back, I've just been shoving in food for lunch, on the go, doing 100 million things. But I really think that stopping makes such a big difference. So they're the two things that I loved the most and appreciated the most about Italy, and are things that I can bring back and take into my life. So it's that being proud and that really slowing down and appreciating that break for lunch. Of course, I love the coffee and the gelato and the Aperol Spritz and all those other things that came with it. The hiking, the history, trekking in Tuscany is everything that you think it would be and more. And the places that we stayed at were, one was a farm stay that was organic food that was grown there. It was enormous amounts of food that we kept eating because it was so delicious, and really just immersed ourselves in the moment. So it's just fantastic. I loved it. But as I said, we will be having some of the crew who came along on for a slide night on a Monday night soon. So you can get to hear and see more about them. And if you haven't checked out the Facebook page and the email today where I put the picture of our last night, we do an awards and celebration on our last night, and every lady who comes along, or every person who comes along, receives an award, and the awards are in recognition of everything that's been achieved. And one member in particular who was on, we always have a Spirit Award, the Women's Fitness Adventures Spirit Award, who embraces the values of what we do. But there was one particular award that I'll single out that a lady achieved, and it was the Joy Award. And there was sheer almost delight of a child in everything about the adventure for this member, and it was infectious, and it spread amongst all of us. And I know that many of us have spoken about joy and finding joy in the small things, and it was just such a wonderful experience to share with her. So I did want to point that out. Hello Cherie, hello Karen, hello Jelena, and Margaret, looks like, and Andrea, it looks like everybody's kind of on holidays because it is the end of school holidays today. So when I say that was Tuscany, it makes it sound just really small, but it was amazing, beautiful. We will be running it again in 2024, so we'll have some details on that coming out soon. As Mandy says here, those award dinners are so memorable, and how everyone in the restaurant is tuning in, and we can see how much they wanted to be a part of us. Absolutely. And when we were having, on several occasions, we were having dinner, and we're a big group. And because of the way we are a group and we know each other before we go, even our guide Francesca said to us, well, what is this? How do you all know each other? You know each other so well. And it is just part of how, when you book onto the adventure, you become part of the group. And we had some Australians at this beautiful farm stay in Tuscany, and she was there with her husband. She was from Sydney, and she said, no, who are you? I want to be part of you. I want to hike with women. And if I'm not, her husband was kind of encouraging her, so we're not sure there. But everywhere we went, there was a group of cyclists there from America as well, going, oh, you ladies are amazing. Just because the energy and the kindness and caring and support for each other is really quite infectious. And on that last night, which at Elba Island was just unbelievable, there was a German couple, I think they were, who had been at Napoleon's house the same time we were. And, he was helping us downstairs, as a gesture, not that we needed help, but as a gesture. And, at the restaurant, they came over and wanted to talk more to us and stuff. So we literally had, as you say, Mandy, the whole restaurant tuning into what we were doing that night. And I'm sure that our waiters, Maurizio and Antonio, had a tear in their eye when we left earlier the next morning. So that's my quick wrap up about Tuscany. You will hear a bit more about that, and we'll put notes out about when we're having our slide night on that. And the other thing I want to talk about is intention. And one of the values that I like to live by is intention, that I live my life with intention and write the story that I want my life to be. But it's one thing to have intention, and it's another to have action. And in all of my travels and in my colleagues that I talk to, and I'm pretty sure we've even done polls inside our community, is that our health and fitness is really important to us. But for all I see in the world, and everyone saying how important health and fitness is, and the intention is that it is important, lots of things can get in the way, and that intention often doesn't translate into action. And I know from some of you watching, you have some amazing stories which you have excitedly, well, we're very excited that you're wanting to share those, so we can spread that great news out as well. But it is, there's lots of research coming out more and more that action every day, that what we say, that consistency of showing up, or that compounding fitness, contributes to a longer life. It contributes to reductions in diabetes, or incidence of diabetes, or risk levels of disease. It contributes to, all those comorbidity things down the track that literally showing up consistently day after day after day. It doesn't mean you have to go far, and it doesn't mean you have to go fast, but some of you watching, you know that you need to go. You need to get in there and make it a habit. And I say this because this time last year, there were very few distractions for all of us. We were still in the midst of, were we going to be locked down? Were we going to get out? Could we go anywhere? Could we not go anywhere? So many of us didn't make any plans other than the plans that pertained immediately to us and what we could control around us. And many of us did focus on our health and fitness because that's pretty much all the things that we could do. There wasn't the distractions that there are now. And if you have a think, and I'd love to hear anyone's thoughts, if there are more distractions now for you than there were last year. So, and when I say distractions, maybe that's not the right word. More things competing for your time, or more choices of how you spend your time than what there were this time last year. And I'd love to know, if you want to just pop a note in the comments, that, I know for some people that, there's work and there's family and there's study and there's, children and grandchildren and so many competing things. So whilst you're thinking about that, so the question was, do you think you have more things competing for your time now than you did this time last year? And I'll just answer this question, and don't be shy. So Krista says, on your Italy trip, do you need to carry all of your gear, or do you just carry your day pack and your other luggage is delivered to the next location? Great question. Thanks, Krista. So on the majority of our trips, and certainly all the ones coming up, is we stay in accommodation, and if we stay for consecutive nights, then everything stays in that one location, and we carry day packs only. And if we move location, then the luggage moves with us and it's only day pack. So we have very few adventures where you carry a full pack. So the majority is a day pack. The day pack, depending where you go, in Tuscany probably weighed about 5 kilos, which was water and some food and a jumper or light raincoat, and that was about it. And then other locations, if it's a colder climate, would need a raincoat and maybe some wet weather pants, and a beanie. So yeah, generally it's day pack only hiking. Our packs may look big, and someone made that comment to me the other day, gee, your packs look big, but a lot of our packs, it's like a handbag. Oh, and I did buy one in Tuscany. It's like a handbag. You want to make sure that it's not too small, that you're literally not being able to put anything in. And if it's too big, you don't have to fill it. So yes, it is day pack. So on our itineraries on the website, it should say day pack only hiking as well. So great question. So nobody's answered my other question though. Do you feel that there are more distractions this year than there were last year? And hi, Gay. I sometimes feel, and I see it, so whether you want to answer my question or not, I do see it. I see the messages that come through to my phone. I can't make it today. I've got this on, I've got that on, even though we might be booked in for something. And it sometimes feels like there's this big scattergun approach, and I will just try and do everything because I haven't been able to do anything for the past several years, and I'll see what sticks. And, we were having this conversation on the train, actually, from Bonconvento to Siena about multitasking and whether multitasking was actually a good thing or not. And we came to the conclusion that it's probably not, that we can achieve the same amount and probably better quality if we do one thing at a time and do it well, than trying to do 15 things and hoping that they all end up, being finished at the same time. So let's check in here. Andrea says, and thank you, Andrea, great point. I was wondering why I have lost track of my health and fitness this year when I was so organized and focused last year. It's so true that the busyness of life has returned and my time is again stretched between many people again. Absolutely, Andrea, you have nailed it, absolutely nailed it in one sentence there, or two. It is. We have a lot of catching up to do. There's no denying that. And I do believe as women, because we are nurturers by birth, that we do tend to get distracted from our true self. and what we need for us to be nourished, because there are so many other things out there. So thank you for sharing that. And Brodwin says, not more distractions, just different ones for me. But if determined enough, they can be worked around. Absolutely. And as I've said before, that, whatever we make as a priority, we have time for whatever we make as a priority. So, if work is your priority or family is your priority, then you will always put that first. We need to make sure that somewhere inside there, our health and fitness is a priority. And, I see people sitting on airplanes and long haul flights, and it scares me that, that you do need to be well. You need to be able to be self-sufficient on this long haul flight. And it's quite scary to see the health of some people on long haul flights, and that, the ability to get up and down out of your chair in a hurry if you have to go to the toilet, or if you've got people sitting next to you and you're on the aisle seat like I am, getting in and out of the seat all the time. And that attention to even that movement of getting up and down as we get, older, each day we get older, we need to be able to move functionally well. And the only way we can keep doing that is to devote some time to our fitness of being functionally well. So thank you, Brodwin, if you're determined you can work around it. Teresa, I hope I'm saying your name right, if it's Teresa or Teresa. Yes, there are more distractions for me this year, but appointments I stay committed to. Super. And I hope that you're making those appointments with yourself as well. I have a couple of cryptic things in my calendar that I know what they're for, and they're appointments with myself. But other people can see my calendar, but they don't know what those appointments are for. So thank you for sharing that. Jill, more distractions, commitments this year, purely because the COVID impact forced us to slow down, limit our movements and tasks, etc., which was both a positive and a negative. Absolutely, it was, Jill. And I know I've said this on one of the other lives, that in the beginning of COVID, and there's probably a recording I've got somewhere, we were all, because no one knew right in those early days how long it was going to last, and that this was the breath of fresh air we needed. This was the reset we all wanted. But I do think that whilst we had that reset, I think we generally, collectively, have gone the other way and thrown it all out. And some of the gains that we made in that time are starting to slowly unravel unless we stay really focused and really committed to them. So thank you for sharing that, Jill. And I do hope that that little pact we made is still working with you. I'd like to hear more about that. Margaret says, multitasking has its place, but I'm learning to prioritize and concentrate on what is important. That's it, Margaret. It's figuring out what's important to you, because what's important to you is different to what's important to me and to Jill and Teresa and to Brodwin and everybody else. And then when we do, there's a lot of things. It's like emails. When I didn't answer emails for 2 weeks, I took my computer in case I got stuck, but I didn't turn it on. Some of those things just aren't important. So, if we prioritize and concentrate on what is important, then, that's where our priorities and our intention and our effort will go. Thank you for sharing that, Margaret. And Jelena says, the Couch to Mountain program has kept me busy and prioritizing my health and fitness. Thanks. The increasing distractions are largely being ignored. Ooh, I love that. Like packing to move. Yes, something will happen at the last minute. Well, okay. Which is not you at all. I'd rather be outside walking. Well, that's music to my ears, but you do at some point have to pack up a house if you're planning on moving. And for those of you who aren't aware, the Couch to Mountain program is our, premier hiking and fitness program that takes you from your couch to the summit, Australia's highest peak, over a 6-month online program. So we are in the middle, coming to the pointy end, literally, of that adventure for this year, and we'll be taking some expressions of interest and a wait list for next year very soon. So thank you, Jelena, for sharing that. And I think that that's a key as well, is having someone or something or a goal or a purpose to be accountable to or for as well. So it's great to see that I'm not alone in my thoughts there, that all of you who have shared, and thank you so much for sharing, feel that distraction is is real and is there, and that we need to be aware of it, because if we suddenly get to the end of the year and look back at all the things, and if you remember, you may remember we did our 3 words at the beginning of the year of how we wanted to live our lives this year, and we might dig those out and refresh those. When we look back over the course of the year on all that we've gained, have we focused on what we intended to, or has life taken another turn, or have we simply been distracted? It's okay for life to take another turn, but is the distractions or the turn of your choosing, or is it a distraction? And Cherie says, I have definitely had much more to do this year. The family have been very demanding. I only wish that sometime they would understand I also need to help. I need help and some time for myself. Yeah, and as women, you're not alone there, Cherie. We're all the same, that we want to help. It's important to us to help our family. But as they say, probably not a good analogy, when you're flying, fit your oxygen masks first and then help others. And it takes a while to learn that we do need to give time to ourselves. Otherwise we can, I know I do, become quite resentful of myself, not of anybody else, because I haven't given myself the time and space that I need to do the things that nourish me. And that could be, simple as going for a half an hour walk, or it could be, getting away or spending time with my friends, or, the family, or whatever it is that nourishes me. It's important to learn, acknowledge, and take action towards that. So one of my values is intention, and taking action towards that intention, and health and fitness is always one of my highest priorities, and I hope that it's yours too. Just remember that guilt will always come along as well, and that if our intention is health and fitness or our wellness, and we never get to it, then we're just making ourselves feel guilty, and we probably need to change what our intention is, because there's no sense in feeling the guilt. Let me just check in a couple of things. Jill says, one thing I loved about the Iceland 11-day trip was that I did not have my laptop. Yes, I know. And as you I've discussed before, Yvonne, working for myself, I'm on my screens every day, and I have real trouble setting any me time. Absolutely. And Jill, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'd love to hear anybody else's thoughts as well, is that the world of technology isn't going to change. Our phones, we can choose to be connected 24/7, and most of us are, even if we have it on Do Not Disturb. We are connected by, all our bills and all our important notices come via email. There's text, there's video, there's this live. Our televisions, our smart televisions, our cars generally are connected as well. That the world isn't going to change. In fact, it's going to become more technology heavy. So we actually need to work out how we exist in a world around that. And Jill, that's something that I am trying to focus on. I'm not particularly good at it either. I'm not particularly good at it. I have the phone beside my bed because, as you know, some of you, my son is over in America. And so the time difference, and I'm thinking, oh, am I going to miss a call or not? So it's always there. But I'm trying to work out, okay, can I just start small and set some boundaries for when I check emails, or some boundaries for when I do this or that? Because I read this great article the other day that said you could save 3 hours a day. I went, wow, that would be great. And it is. It's like once you get onto, the phone in the morning and you check all those emails, if you don't do anything with them, then you've got to actually go back and do it again. Or you check Facebook or whatever it might be. So just make it purposeful for the time that you spend there. And then when you're not doing that again, then you're not having to come back and do it again and duplicate the whole process. So Jill, maybe we can set up a little plan together of how we hold ourselves accountable for not working all the time, as much as we love work. And that's the other thing. But for those of you who follow the Stoics, the Daily Stoic, which is about the Romans, which is a great email. And if you're not on that, I suggest you follow that, is that, you can love your work and you can love what you do. But if you do it all the time, all work and no play makes Yvonne a dull girl. So, let's just keep that in mind, Jill. And Chrissy says, I made it outside today, which was just bliss. And absolutely, Chrissy, we know the journey, the health journey that you've been on. And so that is a big deal and a big step. So thank you so much for sharing that. So I have been talking for a little while now. So just a quick recap before the last three things I want to talk about. My Tuscany highlights, and we will be having a slide night. So stay tuned. That will be on a Monday Night Live. So stay tuned for that. Yes, and Sharon loves the Daily Stoic because Sharon actually put me onto the Daily Stoic. So if you go online, search up Daily Stoic, you can sign up for the daily emails, which has just got such words of wisdom in there. We talked about intention and actions, and how if we say health and fitness is our priority, then let's take the intention and then follow through with the action. Otherwise, we're making ourselves feel guilty. And we've had such a wonderful, rich discussion tonight. So thank you, everyone, for sharing in that discussion. And we also talked about this time last year, the distractions, and have we got more distractions this year? And what does that mean? And what can we do about it? Or do we need to do anything at all about it? So thank you all for contributing to that wonderful discussion as well. So just a couple of things that I want to share. If you're watching and you're not a member, then jump onto our website. I'll pop a link up here. womensfitnessadventures.com and join membership. Our membership is open. You can join from wherever you live. You can join annually or there are monthly options there as well, and have access to a whole variety of things that our members have. We have our book club on tomorrow night, which is our member-only book club, which is A Woman of No Importance. So first 4 chapters for those of you that are registered. And I don't know if anyone else, and we'll talk about this at book club tomorrow night, I have a sense I've seen this as a movie, or every page I'm reading is this deja vu. And as I said, I watched a lot during COVID on Netflix. There is a big sense of deja vu in there for me. So it'll be interesting to chat about that tomorrow night at book club. Then there is our Victorian hiking skills workshop on this weekend. So there's still places available. Jump onto the website, and I have seen it. Have I, Nicole? Have I? Yes, I'm pretty sure. I think you're talking about the book. I'm sure I've seen it, if it's not disguised as Red Joan or something like that. Teresa, how do you join book club? So jump onto the website and log in as a member, and you'll see book club should be either if you click onto adventures, either the first or second one that's on there, and just link to register, and it will register for the 3 sessions. So it's one book over 3 sessions. We're reading or discussing chapters 1 to 4, but if you don't have the book, then it's okay, because you can still jump in for the discussion. Brodwin, thinking it could be a good movie, but it would be a long one. Yeah, I've just got to figure out where, Nicole, if you think I've seen it, where I have seen it. It's just so familiar. Red Joan is a wonderful movie. I likened it to this story. Yeah, and maybe I'm mixing up Red Joan because it's got something to do with her leg. Teresa says it's a Netflix show. We spoke about it yesterday and not sure of the name. Yeah, then maybe I've seen it. Yeah. But so we make a great discussion. And Teresa, I hope that I gave you enough information there. But if not, just email the office tomorrow and we can tag you into it. So book club is on tomorrow night. Our Victorian hiking skills workshop this weekend, which is going to be super duper exciting. Bring along your gear if you are registered. Bring along all your questions. No questions off limit. I know that some of the members are bringing along raincoats and backpacks, and we'll do some backpack fitting and all sorts of things. And we'll do a theory, and we'll go out on the trails, and we'll do some functional fitness and a whole lot of stuff. You have unlimited access to Jane and I all weekend. So that's going to be very exciting. And we have a social dinner as well on the Saturday night. So if you're watching from Victoria and that sounds like something of interest to you, then jump onto our website and book into that. And we also have our Christmas party. So we have an in-person Christmas party here in Brisbane, which any members anywhere, wherever you live, are welcome to join. And we are also doing for the first time an online member Christmas party. So stay tuned for details on that. And it won't be me talking. It will be a virtual party. So that is in November. Both of those parties are in November. So stay tuned for that as well. So that's all I am sharing tonight. It's been a while. It's been exciting to be back, and I have loved the conversation. So thank you, everyone who contributed to that. Thank you, everyone who's watching as well. There are 2 adventures on the website that still have a couple of spots. So our New Zealand Southern Lakes in the end of March, the beautiful, beautiful autumn colours of New Zealand. It is the 3rd time doing this adventure. It is simply wonderful. We love New Zealand. And our Hiking the Painter's Way. So the Painter's Way is where the Romantics painters got their inspiration from in Germany. And there are 2 spots left for that one in May. So jump onto the website and have a look at those. But regardless, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. I encourage everyone to stay well and stay safe. Enjoy wherever you are, the beautiful weather, the beautiful friendships, family, all those good things that are around you. Think about A Call to Spy, Netflix. I can't remember that one, but who knows, I may have. Think about those Italians. Think about that proud of everything, proud of their dress, their shops, their heritage, their culture, everything. And also that slowing down for lunch. So next time you have lunch, which will be tomorrow, and I hope you do have lunch, maybe just, Jill, maybe let's just put the computer aside and have lunch without any distractions for 10 or 15 minutes, or read the book from Book Club. All right, well, that's me for tonight. Thank you so much for joining in. If you have questions or comments, keep adding them below. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. Thanks. Bye.